Hey, so right now I'm up. I'm feeling alright. Yeah. Because yesterday was weird. I don't know who else went through this. But it was like if I was going, I was going. Like, yeah, we could do this all day long. Sit down and take a break. Oh my God. I'm so tired. Get back up. Get going. And I was going. And I was like, man, it was nonstop, right? I got home from work, ate something, drank a cup of tea, soaked in the bathtub, and was like, I'm done. Funny thing is, I laid down and then my brain was like, we're still going. And I was like, no, we're not. And we did. Thoughts kept coming into my head, things I needed to share, things I needed to get out, reminders, just all kinds of stuff. Stuff I'm working on. Sorry, I just did my hair and I have a hair. Things that I need to get my butt in gear to doing. And I'm like, I know, but I want to go to bed. And when you're laying in bed, I want you to realize it's like your quiet time, right? It's like where your brain's like, we can think about this. We can think about that. That's almost like your spirit guide's going, hey, here's a good idea for you. Hey, I want to share this with you. And what I do is I always keep a pen and paper by my bed. It's always been a habit. I've tried to get back into the habit of journaling and writing those thoughts out, because there's been times where I was like, oh, I'll write it down tomorrow in the morning when I wake up. What was I saying? I mean, it's like two different worlds. When you're up, you're going. When you're down, you're... But if you're going through that yourself, hang in there. One of the thoughts I had last night while I was laying there was, when did we stop working out to get our heart to elevate? To feel that drive that we often feel with caffeine. That thing that's like, go, go, go. And used to, way back when health mattered, we were reminded to eat healthy, get proper amounts of sleep, plenty of water, exercise regularly, to do things that would benefit us, right? At some point, that went out with energy drinks. And my son told me one time, Mom, if you have an energy drink or caffeine before, I think he said 2, you're going to have a crash, like towards the evening time. And I was like, oh, whatever. I'm finding that he's not wrong. Because when you work like a demanding job, and I know a lot of us do, it could be mentally, emotionally, physically, whatever it is you're doing, it places a demand on you. And a lot of times you're like, oh, I can't get all this done. I need extra time. And there's not extra time. I was even walking in like, I'm running out of time, and had to make deals yesterday to make certain things happen. And my boss was like, you're really smart. Shh, don't tell anybody that. Don't spread the word, because then you're all going to want me to do certain things that I can get done. But a lot of you are like that and don't realize that you think outside the box, that you are problem solvers, that when somebody's down, you can lift them up, that you actually have such a powerful brain. When your body's exhausted, your brain can go, we're not done yet, and you keep going. Do you even realize that's a superpower that you have? That you inspire other people to not give up. You inspire other people to say, you know what? If they can do it, I can do it. And yes, that might seem like a competitive spirit, but at the same time, you're pulling out the will to go on for people. And it's just by showing up and being who you are. And you have to give yourself credit. You have to start saying, you know what? I did a great job. That was accomplished because of me. Because I did have to go to my boss the other day to talk to him about a different boss. I have multiple bosses. But to kind of put out what was really going on. And I know that the talk had been had, because the one that I had to go talk about, that starts the the work but doesn't finish the work, and then I have to come behind and finish it. So it looks like he did it, but I had to do it. You know, those kinds of people. He was glaring at me yesterday. And it's funny, if you watch people, they don't think that you notice, but it's not hard to see, right? It's not hard to see when you irk somebody's demons, when they're like, because I even told myself, this is deja vu. Like, we did this like 6 months ago. But don't be the person that everybody uses and then they take the credit for your work, because you're never going to get anywhere. I have to keep reminding myself what my grandmother taught me. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. So in that sense, if I'm doing everything, why are you going to get the credit? Why are you going to get the grease? Because in the end, you didn't do anything. And then everyone has to go, but what does this person do? Because you know bosses get paid more, right? They actually work harder. They organize. They get their team in alignment to do what they need done for the day. I'm not saying they don't do anything. Sure, they have paperwork and they have things that they have to do outside of what other people are doing. But when it comes down to it, you're doing your job, their job, someone else's job, other people's job. I mean, at some point, draw it back in. No, not today. I don't think I can help with that today. You know? Start letting people see what happens when you don't put your hand in it. Because I know a lot of you are hard workers, big thinkers, big doers. And it's as simple as somebody else is on your coattail waiting for you to trip so they can put on your robe. Now, hold on. You're waiting for me to almost succeed so you can knock me down and take my spot. But the funny thing is, nobody understands how that would actually work. Because you have to be the person that's succeeding. You have to have the gift. You have to have the ability to keep going, right? You have to come up with the thoughts. You have to be an open channel to let them flow out. This is one thing people don't understand. It's not, I'm going to do this and fool the world. You're not a magician. There's some people that are capable, but when you're very low vibing, you're not capable. When you are higher vibing, and from the comments that I get from a lot of you, I do see that you're on the rise to the higher vibe. You know, you have the will to keep pushing through. You want to succeed. You want to encourage. You inspire. You help others. That's a good heart. You can't go through the world with a bad heart being manipulative and think that you're going to put on the robe of success that someone else is donning. It doesn't work that way. Because whatever happens in the dark will always come to light, correct? I mean, a lot of people think they get away with being shifty and shady. But the more that you raise your vibration, the more that you can actually smell the dung. Being those that want to simply ride your coattail. Rip it out from underneath them. Excuse me, you're on my robe. Back up. Give me 50 feet. Give me 50 feet. And we have to start learning to be able to use that discernment to understand who's for us and who's not. Just because somebody's not for us doesn't mean they're against us. They just aren't necessarily in the same mindset. I don't want to say they're against us, but it is what it is, right? Because there's some people that want to see the world change for the better, and there's some that are just like, I don't care. How's it going to affect me? What do I get out of it? And that's more so a mindset of people that aren't invested in the future, their children, their grandchildren, things like that. I worked hard for this. I'm going to keep this. I'm going to take it to the grave with me. Okay, but you're here to live. We're here this time, not for a long time. Because even 100 years is but a wrinkle in time. It's not something that is ongoing forever. Not to say you won't live several different existences of energetic beings that you could be, but you're not going to have the memories and the chances that you have right now. You got to get off the karmic wheel and excel. I was talking to one of the security guards yesterday, and honestly, he was just sitting there kind of mind blown, like, because he was talking about his stepdaughter. We start talking about how certain people are, and he's just looking at me like, I didn't know you were smart. I hide that just to let the world know. Once people realize you're smart or intuitive, they want to pick your brain. They want you to solve their problems. They want to keep coming and not listen to the solutions. So you have to be careful about who you open up to. It's funny as I say this on a public platform, right? Be careful who you tell your secrets to. But I know at this moment the whole world's not watching me. And hopefully it helps a lot of you go, you feel kind of off. I see what she's talking about. Because when I was talking about negative people and how they make me feel, the security guard was like, what? Like you feel it? And I had to explain, it's like a feeling of static and heavy weight in the air. And he was like, huh. And it's funny because his job is to feel people out, to watch them, to know what their next step is. Are they going to steal or are they not going to steal? Are they going to start problems or are they okay? Like, that's his job. But a lot of people are not in the right job. We're not where our gifts want us to be. And a lot of people will never step into who they truly are. But if you have the ability to say, I'm going, taking a break. I'm going. You have the drive. You have what is necessary, the first step to even going, I believe I could start my own company. Let me think of what I could do. What does the world need? How could it benefit? So if I put this out there, how could that alter the concept of the reality I'm in? We have to ask ourselves, because inventors don't just go, I want to create something that's gonna make me money. It's not really even why people make inventions. It's more so the mindset of, if I use this, it will make life easier like this. Or if I do this, it will repair that. It's a way of being here for humanity. You can see the businesses that were in it for the profit because they're not around anymore. But you can see the ones that wanted to make a change. Sometimes that change doesn't always continue on in a positive manner. It becomes toxic. But where we're at right now, we're viewing the toxicity. So that's where we go, okay, now it's time for solution resolution, right? Now it's time for us to create something that's going to get rid of the microplastics in the ocean, or to get rid of all of the toxins in the water. That's where we're at in society. How do we pull back and create less emissions? What could we invent that won't mess with the biosphere, the atmosphere of everything around us? And it's almost like saying, I made a vacuum and now it sucked up all the dirt. But we have to do that on a massive scale. Macro thinking, right? Instead of micro. Because when we're looking at micro levels, we're looking at pennies, dollars. How will this benefit me? But when you can expand beyond and say, okay, this is supposed to benefit the whole because I am tied to the whole. Whatever happens to you happens to me. Maybe not in the moment. If you trip and fall, I didn't trip and fall, but if I tripped you, I might trip and fall at some point later on in the day. Sometimes karma hits people instantly. You can see it. It's happened to me. Just from me joking around. And then hitting my elbow and like, ooh, karma done got me like that. Like she said, girl, you better get on some better behavior. Yes, ma'am. I'll not do it again. I promise. Okay. I'll joke in a softer way next time. Because we have to become aware of what we're saying, who we're saying it to. Some people are more thick-skinned than others. Some people can't take a joke at all because they take it to heart. And actually, when we're trying to make them smile and laugh, we're making them get stuck in their heads. I have a friend like that. He's very hard to communicate with. And I can tell on days that I can joke with him in certain ways based off of how his eyes are. Those are the windows to your soul. I see a girl on a regular basis and I'm like, oh, what are we thinking about again? Stop thinking about him. And she's like, I know, I do. But don't. I have to remind her, you're young and beautiful. It doesn't matter. We cannot invest what we believe in ourselves into everybody else's opinion of us. If we do that, then we're going to fail. We're not going to believe that we have some sort of innate gift to present to the world. It's hard to write your paper and present it to the class the day before it's due. But the more that you work on it, the more that you research it, the more that you discover about the content, the subject that you need to share, the better the presentation. You ooh and ah people. But when you're being guided to do certain things, we're all being guided. You have to listen. You have to sit in silence and pay attention. And that's the hardest part, because believe me, a lot of times when we sit in silence, the trauma comes back, the pain. But that's the beginning of it. When you can work on that pain body, when you can heal through that trauma, when you can go, these are not real moments right now. These are memories. I've been there. I've done that. I felt that. I don't want to feel that again. But then you heal through, why did I feel that way? And then tell yourself, you were brave. You made it through it. Now here you are. You have trudged through the messes of the past. You have sat in the moment. You have let them come in and out and wash over you without putting you back in the feeling you were in the moment that you were so scared. I know, I've been there. I can still recall a time that my life was in someone else's hands, literally. I've had people play around with me. You know how it's like, oh, I could strangle you. And it triggered me and made me shut down for days, sometimes months, or me having to go, please don't do that, and being very not myself. But when we can go through those moments and say, that's when the devil had his hand on me. That's when he was whispering in my ear. But I don't listen to him anymore. I'm better than that. I don't need something to keep testing me to tell me I'm weak when I know that I'm strong. You know, gotta do it, gotta do it, gotta do it. Take a break. Gotta do it, gotta do it. Gotta take whatever break you need as long as you need. I even got an extra break yesterday just for doing favors for people left and right. It was someone basically going, hey, can I hang out with you for a minute? No problem. I got you, sis. And sitting and talking for a moment. Her actually getting to know me and being like, whoa, that's cool. So don't be afraid. Put yourself out there. Sit by yourself. Go, go, go when you have it in you. And sit down and relax when you don't. My habits at night were becoming draining, extremely draining. And I knew every morning when I got up, today has to change. Today has to be different. And it's funny, this full moon lunar eclipse was like, change. And it wasn't even the winds of change this time. It was the energetic change. The thing that was, it's now or never. You're going to either change it or you're making a choice to succumb to it. What do you choose? Do you want to do better or do you want to stay where you're at? Because I have to keep reminding myself I have a time frame that I created for myself to make things happen this year. I challenged you to do it. Have you been working on it? I mean, like I said, we're all in this together. We all have something to bring to the table. Don't just bring napkins. Everyone can't bring napkins. You know, when you go to that party and you're like, the potluck, who's bringing this, who's bringing that? I remember someone didn't bring the cups. And it was like, what do we do? How do we go about enjoying this meal without choking on it? So we got to all get in alignment, not even with each other, with that higher power. This is, okay, curtain's about to rise. Everybody got their stuff ready? Because just like when we went to that, when we were in music class in elementary, someone had the triangles, someone had the xylophones, someone had the beater sticks and the tambourines, and everybody was singing off key. But it was still a show, right? So we got to get to the point where we might not be 100% prepared, but it's time to practice. So if today's the day that you can go, take a break, feel it, flow through it. Just do it. I promise you, you won't die. And at the end of the day, reward yourself with a nice hot bath, salt bath at that, and a nice cup of calming tea. If you don't have any, there's grocery stores everywhere. But on that note, I have rambled long enough. Peace, love, and light.